Hello, my name is Arinjay Singh. I'm in 11th grade and I live in the San Francisco Bay Area. My research project is about the environmental impact of NBA arenas and efforts to minimize it. I'm a huge NBA and basketball fan, go Warriors, and I'm also interested in the environment. By the end of this presentation, you will understand what the major environmental impact of NBA arenas are, what they're doing to reduce it, and with some data, how impactful it is. The impact of sports arenas and events are generally unclear and not talked about as much as they should be. Thank you to my mentor Tristan Ballard for helping me through this project. The goal of this research project is to assess the impact of NBA National Basketball Association arenas on the environment today and their reported efforts to reduce it in the future. First, the project examines the principal environmental impacts from NBA venues, identifying the dominant impacts and sources. Next, I evaluate reports from NBA venues on the sustainability targets and how aggressive they are in context of other venues. Finally, I estimate how large an impact these sustainability targets will have in the future by using data from lead scorecards and creating histograms to effectively visualize the data. The data allows for an objective analysis for deeper understanding. My two research questions are, how NBA basketball arenas affect the environment today as they host numerous games each year? And two, what are the NBA arenas' current sustainability goals and their impact? So a brief introduction. Sustainability in sports is rapidly gaining attention as an emerging trend and critical concern. Major sporting events like the FIFA World Cup and Olympics have long been scrutinized for their environmental impact. These events bring together tens of thousands of fans, leading to a significant ecological footprint due to the amount of resources that bringing this many people together demands. In leagues like the NBA, however, games are happening almost every day for 5 to 6 months continuously. So in events like the FIFA World Cup and Olympics, they happen once every 4 years. But in leagues like the NBA, games happen every day continuously for months on end. The impact of sports like the NBA, however, are very um under researched. For some context, here are some statistics on the NBA and the vast amount of people that attend games, resulting in massive amounts of resources used by arenas. For example, each NBA team plays in 82 games per season, so there are 1,230 games per season in the NBA. Last season, 22.5 million fans went to a game. The average attendance at an NBA game was 18,324, and 71% of all games were sold out. These were all records for the NBA, and in the future, the league will continue to grow in popularity, resulting in more and more people coming to games and watching games. The types of sources I use for this project are research papers, primary sources, secondary sources, and all the data and lead scorecards were from the U.S. Green Building Council. Example lead scorecard is pictured here. So the primary data set is LEED certification scorecards. What is LEED? LEED stands for Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design and is a globally recognized green building rating system developed by the U.S. Green Building Council to promote sustainable building practices. It evaluates buildings based on various criteria, including energy efficiency, water conservation, and material use. As of 2023, over 105,000 buildings worldwide have achieved LEED certification, reflecting its widespread adoption and impact on environmental sustainability. For this project, I went through all the scorecards of LEED certified NBA stadiums and analyzed these scorecards and used them to create a visualization in the form of a histogram. Each scorecard has a few subcategories that cover different aspects of the building. For example, pictured in the top right, some of the subcategories are water efficiency, energy and atmosphere, and materials and resources. Each of these categories have a number of points that a building can earn, as they all have subcategories within them. Points in the histogram are scaled to 100 for easy visualization. And there are 4 levels of LEED certification: LEED certified, LEED silver, LEED gold, and LEED platinum, pictured in the image in the bottom right. So now I'll address research question number 1, how NBA basketball arenas affect the environment today as they host many games each year. The 3 main environmental impacts of NBA arenas are water usage, electricity usage, and solid waste produced. Thousands of gallons of water are used in the bathroom to flush toilets, wash hands, and more. This type of water is known as gray water. Electricity substantial amounts of electricity are used in arenas for lighting, heating, cooling, and electronic displays. If you've ever been in a sports arena, you've seen the massive jumbotrons that they have hanging from the ceiling of the arena, and all of this requires massive amounts of electricity. In addition, one of the major environmental impacts of NBA arenas is solid waste produced. Large arenas produce a massive amount of solid waste like food, packaging, plastic bottles, cups, wrappers, and more. If measures aren't taken, this waste will end up being sent to landfills and continue to add up. And although trash cans and recycling bins are available, they're quickly filled up and end up overflowing, or people disregard the labels and throw trash wherever they want to. Now we'll focus on research question number 2. What are the NBA arena's current sustainability goals and their impact? So several NBA arenas are making significant strides in sustainability through various initiatives. For example, there are a few leaders that have emerged throughout my conduction of research. Several NBA arenas like Chase Center collect rainwater and recycle gray water in order to be used again in the bathrooms or for irrigation. Chase Center also collects rainwater from the roof and rainwater that hits the roofs and plazas and recycles that on site and the image pictured in the bottom the image in the bottom right depicts a recycling machine on site in the basement of Chase Center that recycles water. In addition, the Golden State Warriors hired the first sustainability manager in the NBA. Her job and her team's job is to make sure is to come up with ideas on how to make NBA arenas more sustainable. For example, they have developed a biodigester that creates compost on site. Anything that qualifies as compost can go inside the machine, which is pictured in the top right. And this lady in the top right is sustainably managed in Chase Center. The machine heats up and paddles turn the material into smaller and smaller pieces. This material becomes compost and can be used in gardens outside the arena or in local parks across the whole city. This limits the amount of trash that is sent to landfills. The larger machine can process almost 4,000 pounds per day. And to ensure that the correct compost materials are going inside the machine, there's a team on site in Chase Center that goes through the trash by hand and sorts it. In addition, arenas recycle water on site like Chase Center, donate leftover food to local communities and food banks, use renewable sources for power. For example, Golden One Center in Sacramento is 100% solar powered, and it was also the first indoor sports arena to achieve LEED Platinum certification. Golden One Center in Sacramento uses solar panels on the roof to power itself during the day and has a partnership with a solar company to provide the power for games. The Golden One Center in Sacramento uses 30% less energy than required under California regulations, and 45% less water than required under California regulations. In addition, many arenas allow fans to use their game ticket as a ticket for public transport for free, and this reduces the carbon footprint of the games itself and ensures that fans don't have to drive their individual vehicles to the game. 1/3 of NBA arenas are LEED certified, and the 6 newest NBA arenas are all LEED certified, demonstrating how newer arenas are focusing more on sustainability. All of the arenas are also above the baseline LEED certified. Golden One Center in Sacramento achieved the highest ranking of LEED Platinum, and 3 of the arenas achieved the second highest ranking of LEED Gold. So here are some of the histograms, and now I'll explain and go more into depth on these histograms. This is the histogram of sustainable sites. This category was worth the second most amount of points in the whole LEED certification process. Half of the arenas had a score between 80 and 90, which is very, very high. Out of all the categories, this was the one which most arenas did the best on. The subcategories in this category include stormwater design, alternative transportation like public transportation access, and the heat island effect. Many arenas also paint their roofs a lighter color to reduce the amount of heat being absorbed by the arena. The second data point, the histogram, is energy and atmosphere. This category saw many arenas achieve lower scores. As you can see, many of them achieved a score below 50. However, this is still on the high end of scores in terms of LEED certification. Some of the subcategories of this include renewable energy on site, enhanced refrigerant management, and optimized energy and performance. As I discussed before, many arenas are now highly powered by solar panels or other renewable forms of energy. And the last histogram I will discuss is a histogram of water efficiency. 5 of the arenas achieved a score between 50 and 70, which is really good. Some of the subcategories here include water use reduction, water efficient landscaping, innovative wastewater technologies, like I discussed before, and water use reduction, which I also discussed before. Some of the pushback of LEED, which I'm going to acknowledge now, include the fact that applicants can acquire LEED status by offering computer models that will project what they will do in the future. However, none of the NBA arenas have done this, and all NBA arenas went through a process to get certified, and some NBA arenas even went through a recertification process after they were already certified because they improved their arena and wanted to get a higher level of LEED. In addition, another pushback is that the LEED rating system is gimmicky and allows buildings to take the easiest and cheapest path to certification. However, none of the NBA arenas are LEED certified at the baseline level, and in their categories, in their subcategories, they're all above the baseline minimum points for their category, demonstrating how these arenas are not trying to game the system and just achieve a LEED title. In conclusion, the NBA is a leader in sustainable sporting events. NBA venues go above and beyond requirements in terms of LEED and other things. They invest a lot of money. One third of their arenas are LEED certified at a high level, and they have good practices and invest in new technology and ideas that are not common in the sports industry. For example, Crypto.com Arena in Los Angeles uses hydrogen cells with the Bloom Energy that they have partnered with to create energy to use on site. And as I said before, Chase Center creates compost on site. However, arenas can do more. Old arenas should renovate and strive to become LEED certified. And sports will continue to rise in popularity in the future. And they're good for people, but we need to find a sustainable balance for major sports events in the future. Thank you for watching, and credit to SlidesGo for this template.